Hello Glamour Ghouls, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Midge Munster, and on this channel we do all things campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. Today we're doing a little bit of Valloween content. As I've mentioned before, y'all know I love Valentine's Day almost as much as I love Halloween. I just love the aesthetic of it and the colors. I think it's really fun, and I think it's one of the most fun holidays to add that like spooky layer on top of. And if you ever listen to my weekly podcast, Ghouls Night In, with me and Penny Snark, if you don't, I highly recommend you go check it out. I am so proud of this project, and we've got a back catalog of like 160 some episodes. We've been doing it since 2021. But we spend a lot of time on the podcast talking about the Victorian era. We have a whole bit about those crazy Victorians that recurs throughout the podcast. And we love to discuss that time period, both just like in general, but how the kind of overwhelming presence of death during that time put this sort of macabre filter on everything that the Victorians did. Even a lot of the Victorian superstitions around love and things like that were very weird and witchy. We actually have at least one episode, maybe two, about Victorian love superstitions. I'll link it in the description box because it's a really fun episode. But in talking specifically about Valentine's Day, the holiday, Victorian Valentines themselves even had kind of a weird air about them. A lot of them were very bizarre, to say the least. I'll put a couple examples here. And while they could be very bizarre, they were also a lot of the times very intricate and really beautiful. In the mid-19th century, we had kind of reached this new pinnacle of what was possible with papermaking and printing. And so paper cards and Valentines were really reflecting that. They were very ornate, had lots of fluff and filigree, and there was a big moment for pop-ups or working parts for paper Valentines. And one specific paper technique that came about around this time was called the Cobweb Valentine. And y'all know me, anything like spider webs, spider motif, spider references, I'm here, I'm interested. So this is what a Cobweb Valentine looked like. And while obviously it's not exclusively cobweb shaped, you can see where they were going with this. These were also sometimes called beehives or birdcage valentines, but most frequently you will see them referenced as cobwebs. So other than the fact that these look really freaking cool, the other thing that is just so Victorian about these is that this idea of like a hidden secret, a reveal. We love a reveal. And if there is one thing that the Victorians were into, it was like weird, discreet flirting. Repressed flirting. There was fan language, glove language, all these like saucy little intimate things that they loved to do to like hide their true feelings. And so this style of Valentine feels very Victorian to me. Like you have to literally pull through the layers to see the affection hidden inside. So today I want to attempt to make my own Cobweb Valentine, and of course I'm gonna add a spooky layer to it because it's right there. We gotta take it, we gotta try to make a little spider cobweb Valentine. So I'm going to show you how to do this and what you'll need. They're honestly pretty simple to make. There are definitely ways you could keep building and elevating them, but you may have even done something like this in elementary school. I think I may have at one point, but this is something you could make as easy or as intricate as you want to make it. So I'm gonna show you kind of a middle range version. I'm also kind of hoping there's this thing called a double Cobweb Valentine, which is aptly named because it's just a double Cobweb Valentine. But it has this element basically where there's a reveal within the reveal, and I'm not going to try to double up the cobweb per se, but I do have a design element I want to try where there's kind of an extra reveal when you pull the string. So let's get into what we need to make this. Here's what you'll need. Some strong cardstock. some different doilies and paper accoutrement, a needle and thread, a tassel or bead, something to pull your string with, some stickers or jewels, different things to adorn your Valentine with, and of course whatever message or picture you want to hide inside. And then of course you'll also need scissors and some kind of adhesive. I'm just going to be using a glue stick. So the first thing we're going to do, I've cut that thicker cardstock and I cut it a little small on accident. So we're going to get a little creative here. So I also have this paper that looks like handwriting, and I think that's a cute addition for a Valentine. So I think I'm just gonna kind of tear it like this, and we'll line it up at one edge. There we go. And kind of extend this out a little bit, just giving us a little more space to work with our doily here. Let's go ahead and glue these two pieces together. So here's the start of our base, and anything you're going to want behind the spiderweb itself, or the cobweb, we're going to want to lay down on this base first. So I figure I might just kind of have a little fun here with some things and see what I like. I have these really pretty flower stickers that are kind of three-dimensional. I like the idea of having some of these kind of peppering this pink background. Let's see. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay, so we've got a little bit of interest happening now behind the doily, so let's lay that flat here. We're gonna glue this straight to our background. And I know you can see that purple through there right now, but it will dry clear, so that's okay. Go around the edges here a little bit. And honestly, looking at this, I think I might even want to round these corners off just a little. Make it a little more soft. And just to look a bit more finished, I guess. Okay, so we've got our base for our Valentine. You've heard of bullet for my Valentine. This is base for my Valentine. But now we're going to build the cage that will go on top of this. And this is part of why I wanted to use these round doilies, is because I'm going to cut out the center of this other one. Gonna make sure I've traced something here so that I know I'm cutting a perfect circle, because that's gonna be important to our cobweb making process. So I traced that, and then we're just going to cut this, because the main thing is you want to make sure the circle that you cut for your cobweb is going to completely cover the image you want to hide underneath. So now we make our cobweb, which is actually very simple. You're just going to fold your circle in half, then fold it into quarters, so fold it in half again. And if you want to, you can stay here, or you can fold it in half one more time. Just depends on how intricate and how like many lines you want your cobweb to have. So once you've got it all folded up like this, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut lines back and forth starting at the folded edge, and you're going to cut almost all the way to the edge, but not quite. See how that's almost all the way up there, but then we left that edge connected. That's what you want. Then you're gonna flip it and start your next line from over here, going back the other direction, and do the same thing. Cut it almost all the way to the fold, and then stop. And you're just going to keep doing this back and forth until you've cut all the way down here. You're gonna wanna leave a little bit of room for your center area, which is where we're going to attach the thread. So don't cut all the way into the tip, but most of the way down this little cone. All right, so once you've got something that resembles this, you're going to very gently unfold your cobweb. Be very careful because obviously you've made a lot of very small, delicate cuts in here. You don't want to rip or break anything. I feel like right here, you can really tell why they call it a cobweb. Very, very cool. Okay, almost got mine apart. There you go. Okay, mine turned out really well. I'm excited about that. And as you can see, it will completely cover the image that we're gonna hide underneath here. So now, I just made these little spider Valentine guys on Canva, very quick, just did a spider clip art and then added different colored hearts to their little butts to make them kind of look like Black Widows a little bit, but with a Valentine twist. So this is what I'm gonna put underneath here. We're gonna put that in the center of the circle. And then when we lay this on top, we won't be able to see our spider until it is revealed. But I also want to kind of put a message in here as well. So I'm going to kind of freestyle a little bit of a spider web on this, and we'll go back over it with a pen so that it's more visible. Oh, I've just had a thought. If I was really smart, I would have made this into a heart-shaped cobweb. I guess I still could. Let's see where that would go. That's okay. I don't want to I don't want to screw up too much of what I've done. So we'll leave it like this for now. But now we've got a little spider web for our spider to go on. And I think I'm gonna do it over in this gold Sharpie, just to give it a little extra something to make it look special. So what I really was hoping to do is to have the spider also on the thread, so that when you pull up, you get this three-dimensional effect of both the spider and the cobweb kind of dangling. But I think in order to achieve that effect, we have to put this through here, through the center. Okay. And then figure out how far this needs to pull up, or how far it can pull up, I guess. And then tie a secondary little knot in the thread right under the cobweb so that it will pull there as well as dangle the spider. That seems like it might work. Okay. I'm going to trim the string off from under the spider. I want to add a little hidden message around my web. So we're going to say, oh, I already messed it up. Caught in your web. Then we're gonna do Valentine. So now is the tricky part, because we want to glue this down without getting any of our spider legs caught. The other thing we have to be cognizant of is you want to glue the very outside of your cobweb cutout, but you don't want to glue any of the interior layers because it'll keep it from pulling up where you need to pull up. So I'm gonna really focus on putting my glue all the way out to the edge. So that hopefully none of those layers get caught. Center up our little spider boy, make sure he's out of the way. I'm gonna press this down in the middle so it spreads out. And then tap that outside layer into the glue. And of course, before you test your pulley system, you're gonna wanna let your glue dry down a little bit, otherwise you're just going to rip your hard work right off your paper there. But I'm just going around making sure it's tacked down where it needs to be tacked down. So while my glue is drying down a little bit, I'm going to just grab myself one of these little tassels. Like I said, you could make a little loop out of your thread or attach a little bead. You could do anything you want to make your little pulley here. But I just thought a little tassel would be really cute. So I'm gonna wrap my thread around here a few times and tie it off. Perfect. Now I can cut that thread. And now we've got this cute little tassel attached to our Valentine. And then of course you can add whatever other embellishments you want. I got these pearl stickers that I think are really fun. Again, anything to just make it a little more ornate, because that is really the name of the game here when we're doing anything inspired by the Victorian period. And we've got some of these paper roses. All right, and now for the moment of truth to see if our cobweb worked. Ah, cute. So it definitely works. Our string on our spider needed to be a little bit shorter for the desired effect, but overall, you still absolutely get the effect we're going for and can see the spider and the spider web underneath. It's very cool. So there you have it. That is our Cobweb Victorian Valentine, just in time for Valloween. I hope that you all are having a lovely Valentine's Day. And I do just want to take the opportunity to say that, you know, Valentine's Day is about celebrating all kinds of love, not just romantic love. And I have so much love for each and every one of you. I appreciate you so much. I am so thankful for the love that you show to me. You are all my lovely little Goulantines, and I hope that no matter how you are spending Valentine's Day, that it's a really good one. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to show me some extra love today, you can subscribe to the channel before you leave. And if you'd like to check out more things from me, you can always find me on Instagram, or like I said, check out my podcast, Ghouls Night in Pod. I'm going to link that Valentine's episode down below, and I really think you would enjoy it if you enjoyed today's episode. I believe next week will be a Patreon video, so I will not see you here on the main channel. But if you'd like to check out Patreon, the link for that is in the description box below. And if not, that is absolutely okay. I will see you again here very soon. Until then, keep it campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. Goodbye.